Group A in the West means a lot to us personally because we are all Sacramento Kings fans. So let's give a deep dive into Group A.
Let's do it.
So the 5 teams in Group A are the Sacramento Kings, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Houston Rockets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Portland Trailblazers. Before we dive in, let's talk about the standings in the West, where those teams line up. So starting with the Kings, what record are we, Johnny?
We're currently 5-4 after the Clippers loss this Friday night. Currently 5-4, along with a lot of other teams. Timberwolves are sitting 6-3, and yeah.
What about LA?
Clippers are 5-4 as well. Rockets are 5-4, and Trailblazers are 3-7.
Okay, so it looks
we're right
like
in the thick of it.
Group A is. I think we're very lucky to be in this group.
It's a toss-up.
Out of the 3 groups, this is the group we want to be in because what I see, the only teams that really cause a threat in my eyes, although we just lost to the Clippers, I think it's more of Minnesota and Houston are our toughest matchups.
I agree.
Yeah.
We played terrible tonight.
Yeah. And for the viewers, we're recording this right after the Kings-Clippers loss. But I think that's a benefit to see, hey, the Clippers beat us, but we at least know how they play, how they're going to come at us for the next game.
Yeah, and so far the Kings, we've seen them play all of these teams except for the Houston Rockets.
Right.
But just based off the Kings versus Rockets history, it has not been good. We do not play well against Houston, especially season.
In Houston.
Yeah. So, RT, what do you think about this group, and what do you think beholds for that future?
I think I really like the Kings' chances to make it out of Group A. I think the 2 biggest games, like you mentioned earlier, are Houston and Minnesota, especially the game against Minnesota, because, like it or not, we have struggled against Minnesota at home because that game will be at home.
It's next week. It's next Friday.
Next Friday. And
I'll be there.
That's going to be a big testament game because that game dictates who wins the group. Obviously there will be wild cards and all that stuff, and obviously there's point differentials and all that, but I think for the Kings, if they want to win this, they've won the group last year. I think the message is win the group again, get yourself home court advantage.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear talent-wise, Minnesota is the best, most talented team in that group, right? Anthony
outside
Edwards,
of
Sacramento. But as far as the teams we're going against, Minnesota is the team that we're going to have to worry about the most. But I think we have the benefit of going against them already opening night, and we kind of know what they're going to throw at us. We all know Mike Brown's a stickler with film. We're going to watch film on what they did against us, what worked, and I think we're going to have that benefit and hopefully win in the in-season tournament.
So we play Minnesota a week from today.
Right.
That is a home game for us. I think if we manage Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle and we just let Dante or we let Nickeil Alexander-Walker beat us or just let Rudy beat us, that's something we could live with. But we just need to find a way to limit. We're not going to stop either one of them, but if we could just limit just get them out of their comfort zone, I think that game on Friday, and especially it being an in-season tournament game, Golden One Center is going to put on a show for us to really get the fans involved. I really think that we could come away with a big win against Minnesota.
We match up well against Minnesota, and Sabonis has shown to play well against Gobert. As good of a defensive player he is, he's shown to be a Gobert stopper, as you can say. But it's going to have to come down to stopping Anthony Edwards, and we've seen Keegan Murray throughout the season guard the best player on the opposing team. Obviously, that first game, Anthony Edwards shot 15 3-pointers against us. So we know what he's going to want to do. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to make, like you said, someone else score the ball on that Minnesota team. And whether it's Mike Conley, whether it's Steven Chenza, whether it's Jalen McDaniels, we're going to have someone shoot the ball other than Anthony Edwards. And I think we're capable of doing that.
Yeah, so the 2 home games we have are for the in-season tournament are our next Friday's game against Minnesota, and then later in November we play Houston Rockets. So those are our 2 home games. And the other games are in Houston. In
Portland
and in LA. So we just saw the Clippers. What do you think we need to do to beat that team? And let's just talk about the Clippers as if they do not have Kawhi Leonard by that point.
Okay, so I think the best way to beat the Clippers is being aggressive. I think what we saw and we were recording this after Friday's game. Hopefully our offense is better by that time, so that way we are more efficient, more able to just be aggressive on the offensive point, get the star plays in foul trouble, really, really play good defensive mind skills against, the role players. And I think that if we do that, that'll help us get that win easily.
It would be shocking if we shoot the same as we did in tonight's
That's
game.
what I'm saying. And shoot better.
There's no possible way that we're going to make only 3-3-pointers against Los Angeles Clippers.
I agree.
I know we're playing in the Intuit Dome in a brand new arena. I think it's going to... The Kings do great on the road. I think we'll take care of business against the Clippers on their home court. Yeah. Against the wall, that new Intuit Dome wall that Steve Ballmer built, I think that we're going to take that as a challenge, and I think we're going to take care of business in LA.
And if there's something we know as Kings fans is that we play good in Los Angeles.
Yes, we do.
Right? No matter if it's in the Intuit Dome, no matter if it's at the Staples Center, Crypto.com, we play good in SoCal. So
I
think it'll be a different game than when the Clippers came to Golden One Center.
Yeah, those are two definitely Minnesota and LA Clippers. Those are two very winnable games for us. And then now that brings us to our home game against the Houston Rockets. Houston's been interesting this year. Alperen Sengun has been having a pretty decent year. Van Vliet has been pretty solid. Jalen Green's been pretty good. Their new rookie, their third overall pick, has not been getting really sustainable minutes. What do you guys think about Houston so far? What have you guys seen from Houston, and what do you think causes issues for us? Is it their defense? Is it one of the Thompson's twins just really getting up on De'Aaron? Like, what do you think it is that caused us trouble in the past, and how do you think we're going to move past it?
I think Houston's a lot like the Raptors. They're a very scrappy team. They're a young team that plays very hard. They're athletic. They're going to bring everything at you. You never know if Van Vliet's going to go off. Şengün's obviously a very talented player. Dylan Brooks can obviously go off for 20, 30 points.
And Dylan Brooks is just a pest. He's that type of player that you hate going against, and he loves to get under your skin. But I think we're a mature enough team to not let that affect us.
I think so. And I think we've been through our lumps already. So we played Toronto already. We've gone through stretches where we've played young teams. Portland, right, is a good example. Young teams that don't necessarily have the same amount of talent as us, but just play scrappy and are well coached. I think they're going to be similar to the Raptors, and we've been battle tested to kind of take on that challenge. But at the end of the day, I think we have to stop Şengün because he does so much for their offense. We have to stop Jalen Green from shooting lights out. Dylan Brooks is somewhat of a Kings killer too, as well, right? So I think as long as we bring our offense and we guard the paint and we don't let them get easy shots, because as a young team, if they get comfortable and they start making easy shots on us, that's when their confidence goes up. So if we facilitate and we take care of business early on in the game, I think we have a good chance of beating them.
I agree. I think the one thing that we really need to take care of is being more physical than them, because Houston is a very physical team. They're young, but they have such physicality from Jabari Smith. He could be very physical.
Dylan Brooks,
Dylan Brooks is very physical.
Asar Thompson, my God, that
Asar
guy's
Thompson,
a beast.
Asar Thompson,
player.
Jalen Green can be a pest on the
Steven
defensive
Adams
end.
too, dude.
Steven Adams,
he's off their bench.
That team is just very well coached. I mean, Ime Udoka, Kings legend.
He preaches physicality.
Ime Udoka, yes. I hope the Kings just come out and just out of the gate that game, just be ready to go. So that's our plan. I think that would be a big one for us.
That's going to be a really good game to just test where the Kings are at overall, because I think that will be probably around our 13th to 15th game of the season. So it's going to be a really good chance to see where the Kings really are at.
Yeah.
Because right now it's too tough to say where we really think we are. And, they always say it takes 20 games to really see how a team is going to perform for a full season. But I think this Houston game is going to be a huge test for us. And if we could take care of home court against a tough, gritty Houston Rockets team, that would be amazing to see. And we would all love a win against that team.
And the Rockets are no slouches. They beat some good teams, right? They beat the Mavericks, right? They beat the Grizzlies, so Grizzlies by 20. So they've shown flashes of being a very good team, and they've matured a lot, obviously, since past years. So we're going to have to bring it. They're not going to be an easy team to beat at all.
I think that's going to be our toughest matchup, because Portland, we've played Portland already. Like I said earlier, we've seen 3 out of the 4 teams. Portland, but the one thing about Portland is we cannot treat it as we're playing a low-seeded team.
They play hard. They play hard.
Portland plays good. They're well coached. They have really good young players that just want to prove that they're worthy of being in the NBA. So we really need to treat that team as if
they have nothing to lose when they play. Yeah, exactly what you said.
So I really think the Kings have a very good chance of making out of Group A. I would because last season, we made it out of our group, and
Group
I really,
C, yeah.
and I
the
really,
Thunder, Timberwolves.
Yeah,
like,
we were
had
in
a
a- we were-
hard
Warriors
group
Spurs.
I
last
think
year.
we were in a tougher
Sheesh.
group last season
Very
than we are
tough
this
group.
year.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a different team. All those teams are different. But I think the Kings have a very good chance, and I would love to see Sacramento make it out and get an in-season tournament game in Vegas. So those are our predictions. That was our preview for Group A.
Yeah.
Obviously, as Kings homers, Kings diehards, we really believe that the Kings can make it out.
We have a good group to make it out. We have a
really
good group
think
to make
so.
it out.
I
Non-bias
really-
aside, I think we have a lot of the good teams in our group we've already seen and we'll be able to learn from, and the weak teams we should be able to take care of. The Trailblazers, the Rockets, we should be able to take care of, and the good teams, the Clippers, the Timberwolves, we've seen already. We can watch the film on, and I feel confident about us.
I feel extremely confident. I would love for the Kings to take care of business.
For sure.
That was Group A. Thank you so much for watching.